Welcome to Dipsticks and Deals with Jimmy B and the Third Wheel on Real Talk 1160. Everything you need to know about cars, buying, financing, trading, maintenance, repairs, auto body, and more. Join the program by calling 513-579-1160. Now, here are your hosts, Jimmy B and the Third Wheel on Real Talk 1160.
Good morning. You're riding shotgun with Jimmy B and the Third Wheel on Dipsticks and Deals, the show where we talk about anything and everything automotive. Appreciate you being here with us this morning. You will be smarter for listening. Remember, you can hear us anywhere in the free world on the TuneIn Radio app, Radio Loyalty app, or live stream us live at dipsticksanddeals.com or realtalk1160.com. Third Wheel, what's going on?
Morning. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and our WordPress blog. And for information about sponsoring the show, go to dipsticksanddeals.com. That's dipsticksanddeals.com, plural. And check out the Advertise on D&D tab.
That would be correct. If you have a question you want to get in, Dipsticks and Deals, call us at 513-579-1160. Phone lines are open. You can also send us a Facebook message and email at ask@dipsticksanddeals.com, Jimmy B at dipsticksanddeals.com, or the Third Wheel at dipsticksanddeals.com.
You're going to have to show me how to find that site so I can pull up my email. It's probably like 10,000 of them I haven't checked.
Yeah. We're going to have to work on a lot of stuff with you.
Office meeting.
Information and entertainment for the American engine.
Not just because you drive cars, but because you drive my great country, America.
That is right. We got a new phone app. We talked about this the last week or two. We'll just mention it again real quick. On your smartphone, iPhone, BlackBerry, Android, whatever you got, when you pull us up now, you are going to get a version of our website that's fitted to your phone. That sounded like a Verizon commercial, didn't it? But it's really cool. It doesn't have everything that our website has, but it does have the tune-in stuff on it. It's got contact us information, all that kind of stuff, plus our regular blog scroll with our car of the week and all that kind of good stuff on it. So check it out. We also want to mention the charities and charity events that Dipsticks and Deals is involved in and supports, such as OTA, Operation Troop Aid. Check out operationtroopaid.org. This organization, it's a nonprofit founded by Mark Woods, a friend of mine. They supply deployed troops with care packages. And the troops put together a list of the things they'd like to have. Staff sergeants on the ground find the troops furthest from any kind of supplies or civility, and they deliver these packages to them, and you can see some of those guys, some of those troops, and we want to thank them, and that's a great way to do it. We want to thank our sponsors as well. Fear Buick GMC. What can you tell me about them, Third Wheel?
Well, what I can tell you is go out and see Ray Tenley, General Manager. They're going to have a lot of sales this week, and I think a lot of them are ending, and some new ones may be coming out with some of the same as, the 0 for 60 and
well, they got the
different lease deals.
They got the new model year deals coming, so
right.
You're going to be able to get a lot of good stuff on the leftovers, they call them. So.
Yeah, exactly. So go out to 2531 Dixie Highway in Hamilton, or call them at 863-811-1111 or whatever it is.
Right.
Or go to 866-662-2107 toll free. And then also, I think one of our great sponsors is the Easy Street Speed and Customs out there on 701 Chamber Drive out in Milford, Ohio. And it's right, not far, I think, right, actually 50 yards from Quaker Steak and Lube out there in Milford.
Yeah, it's almost behind them.
Yeah, cool place.
Past Walmart. I mean, you can see them from the expressway and everything else. It's a huge facility. And if you have an older vehicle that you want customized, you have a late model vehicle you want upgraded, there isn't any other place to go in the tri-state other than Easy Street Speed and Customs. You can reach them at 513-831-7550. Give them a call. You're going to be amazed at the stuff they do, or just stop out there because they'll give you a tour of the place. You can see some of the projects they're working on, get a feel for what they can do. They can order custom performance parts for all you do-it-yourselfers. You don't have to go through the JAGs and all that kind of stuff. They got the stuff that they can get for you and get it at a better price.
These guys aren't no joke. I mean, they're for real. Don't go out there and waste their time, though. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because the stuff that they do and some of the even the money that they put in out of their own pockets for their own cars.
Yes.
I mean, that one guy has like $3 million in cars worth of cars, but he only has like 6 cars.
Right. They do the best work. This isn't This isn't scratching stuff together. This is professional. I mean, if you've seen some of the cable shows where they do this stuff, this is what they do right here locally.
Was that Mothers or whatever, that Markham's, that car show? High-end stuff that comes through for auction?
Meekum auto auction kind of stuff.
That stuff, man.
That's what they do.
That's what you'll see. Interior, exterior, from frame up. Right. It's redone.
So they don't use any duct tape then?
You might want to tell who that guy is.
They don't do any duct tape work. That's Kenny Coltrane, who is back with us after a vacation.
Good morning.
He went to one of those health clinic type things where you get rejuvenated.
I'm hungry for a flapjack.
I bet you are, Kenny Coltrane. Hey, you know what else? This was kind of interesting to me. I saw this morning. You know the space shuttle program is ended, and they're working on some new kind of craft, right? So they're displaying these space shuttles, the actual crafts, and they're putting them in different museums and areas around the country. And in California, coming up later this month, they are going to tow one of the space shuttles to its final spot, and it's about a 12-mile trek. Now, this is the U.S. space program, correct?
Right.
They're going to tow it with a Toyota Tundra. This thing weighs 200,000 pounds, and they're going to tow it with a Toyota Tundra.
And this is a shuttle.
This is a space shuttle. They're going to tow it with a Tundra pickup truck. I've got two issues. One, I don't know what they're doing to make this happen, but a Tundra is not capable of pulling 200,000 pounds.
Something's got to help inside the platform that the shuttle's sitting on.
Or they're going to have the platform with so many wheels on it that I could pull it with my teeth like they do.
Won't they just juice up the shuttle and just
turn it on,
go real quick? It'll be there in about a second.
Which that may be what they're going to do. The other problem I have with it is that this is the U.S. space program and it's being pulled by a Toyota. You know, shouldn't it be a Silverado or a Ford F-150?
Because the government cut the funding, so it's done. I mean,
okay, we'll get to that. Hey, we've got a trivia question. You're going to read the trivia question, but first, last week's answer to the trivia question: what car manufacturer started as a farm tractor manufacturer?
I did not know this.
The answer is Lamborghini. They started making tractors.
Nice.
When they got started back in the 1900s, early 1900s.
And that was for the gas, cash, and crash contest.
That was last week's winner, which I don't have their name pulled up, but the winner was a emailed answer, and I think they're going to take the gas. Smart move.
It is.
What's the trivia question this week?
The trivia question, the HMMWV.
HMMWV.
More commonly known as the Humvee. What does HMMWV stand for? For $25 in gasoline, $25 in cash, or you can crash the show and be on the air with us live, which is priceless.
Don't answer this, but you know what that means.
I absolutely don't. I lived in one, drove around in the desert in one, but I have no idea what it
You have
meant.
no idea what that stands for in your military?
I had other things in my mind
at
the time when I was in one.
Today, we are going to talk about the Battle of Little Big Three. I'll explain when we come back.
Little Bighorn?
Custer?
Close, but no, not at all. Has to do with automobiles. We'll get into it when we get back. Dipsticks and Deals, Real Talk 1160.
Weather when you need it. Your Real Talk 1160 forecast every 15 minutes.
Here's the forecast in northern Kentucky, Cincinnati, and the tri-state. For this morning, a partly cloudy sky, mostly sunny through the day with a high of 78 degrees. It'll be clear to partly cloudy tonight, low 56. Tomorrow, increasing clouds, slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm late, high 78. Rather cloud with a couple of showers and thunderstorms for tomorrow night and Tuesday, low tomorrow night 60, Tuesday's high 64. From the Real Talk 1160 Weatherbug Forecast Center, I'm Jim Rinaldi.
Since the day I stopped drinking, my life has gotten better and better. I can't take any credit for it. It just seems that without alcohol, I think better, I'm more careful with money, I watch what I say, I don't get into trouble like I did when I was drinking. It's scary trying to walk through life alone, and today I have that very distinct feeling that I don't ever have to be alone again. Alcoholics Anonymous. It works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or AA.org.
Laura Ingram?
Yeah, ding, 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 ding.
We've got an app for that.
Oh, fantastic.
Download TuneIn Radio for your Android, iPhone, or BlackBerry. And listen to Real Talk 1160 anywhere, anytime.
Your healthy radio addiction.
Hey, it's the Wild Man from Real Sports 1160, here with my friend Rob Bullock from Bullock Roofing.
Hey, Wild Man.
Rob, I hear you guys are the roofing experts.
That's right, Wild Man. If it has to do with the roof, we can handle it. Roof contracting and replacement, shingles, gutters, chimney repair, skylights. We even offer replacement windows.
Now, what sets Bullock Roofing apart from the other guys?
Wild Man, we are the roofing experts. We do it once, we do it right, and our pride shows in our work. Our customers mean the world to us, and their satisfaction speaks volumes. We're based on old-fashioned value and fair prices.
And word of mouth today is everything.
That's right. Our popularity has grown thanks to our customers telling their family and friends about our quality work.
Take it from Rob Bullock with Bullock Roofing. If you need help with your roof, gutters, chimney, even replacement windows, get the treatment you deserve from the experts at Bullock Roofing.
We service the entire greater Cincinnati area. Find us on the web at bullockroofing.com. That's bullockroofing.com. Call us for a free estimate today at 513-771-2096.
You hear that sound? At Meijer, that's the sound of savings. Because with low Meijer prices, you can save on the items you use every day. So whenever you buy laundry detergent, you save. And whenever you buy diapers, you save. Toothpaste, pet food, coffee, save, save, save. So if low Meijer prices sound good to you, you'll love the sound of this.
Wow, those savings really add up.
Experience the savings, experience the difference. Meijer.
Kick off your Monday nights at Dickman's Sports Cafe in Fort Wright and talk football with Real Sports and Wildman Walker, Eric Thomas, and Jeff Picaro. Monday nights from 5 to 7, live at Dickman's on Real Talk 1160.
Reincarnation Auto Body and Paint of Northern Kentucky. This is Don. May I help you?
Don, this is Rick from 1160, man.
Hey, Rick. How are you doing?
Not good. Okay, long story short, Picoro loaned me his car to go pick up his dry cleaning, and on my way out, I backed right into a light pole. He is going to kill me.
All right, Rick. Settle down. Bring it in, and I'll personally inspect the damage. I'm positive we can take care of it with no problem at all.
You are the man. But Don, this has to stay between me and you.
Hi, I'm Don Metalka, owner of Reincarnation Auto Body and Paint. Bring your damaged vehicle, and I will personally take the time to show you why Reincarnation is different. We're flexible with your deductible, and I know my experience with handling insurance companies will help you get your repairs done smoothly. Just Google Reincarnation of Northern Kentucky, where we bring good cars back to life. Reincarnation Auto Body and Paint, Don Metalka speaking.
Hey, Don, it's Picoro. See, I was out driving in the wife's van, and I drove by your lot, and I thought I saw a car that looked like mine.
Yeah, that's a popular color.
They came from every corner of the country, from small towns and big cities. But they all shared one thing in common. They belonged to a family called Marines, a tough and determined few dedicated to protecting everything we hold sacred. And still, they come. Celebrate the history of those proud few who have earned the title Marine.
Cincinnati's Real Talk. Real Talk 1160.
It's Dipsticks and Deals on Real Talk 1160. Jimmy B, the third wheel. Kenny Coltrane's in the building. He took off. I don't know where he went.
Probably lost again in the building.
That could be. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Listen to us. Today we're going to talk about the Battle of Little Big Three. And no, it doesn't have anything to do with Indians or any of that stuff. It's got to do with what has been known for years as the Big Three, and I'm going to explain why it's no longer the Big Three.
I was going to say, when did that stop?
Well,
but I'm sure you'll tell me.
I will when we get into it.
Do you want me to slow down?
A little bit.
All right.
Before we get into any of this, though, we need to talk about news, and we got some automotive history. So, in automotive news, industry analysts say GM is losing nearly $49,000 per Volt sale. These cars cost almost $80,000 to build.
Aren't they buying them? Government?
Well, let me finish.
Can't.
The reason is that the lease deals GM came up with to launch the Volt and get consumers to try out the new technology has basically backfired, since the low lease deals gave buyers or lessees a Volt to drive for 2 years for about $5,050 on a car that cost almost $80,000 to produce. GM says the numbers are not right, like we believe GM knows anything about how to read numbers.
Or run a business.
Correct. Finally, I say, an American car company investing in American automobile production. Ford Motor Company will add 1,200 factory jobs in Michigan to build a new Fusion. Have you seen that new Fusion yet?
No.
Very, 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 very cool. It's very Aston Martin-ish, the front end. Oh, it's slick. Very good-looking car. It's going to be probably their best seller over above the Taurus, I would say. You need to check it out. You can go to their site and see what that thing's going to look at. It's really cool. Love them or hate them, the Kia hamsters are back. Busting a move for Kia Soul, which is the best-selling box compact. I didn't even know there was such a category.
They broke them down.
They did. Box compacts. That's like the Scion XB, the Soul, the Cube from Nissan. The Scion XB, in fact, could have been the best seller, but they didn't have the hamsters. They went with those mobster mice that did the drive-by shooting thing. Kind of turned people off. Anyone?
Hamsters.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Hey, the N8. Yeah, I can tell. I can see the look on your face and know that you have no idea what I'm talking about. The NADA, National Auto Dealers Association, reports that used car supplies are down across the U.S., forcing dealers to come up with new strategies to get them on their lots. Some dealers are offering buyback programs. Many are canvassing their service lanes for potential sales and purchases, which is good if you own an older car because the price is going up. This can also be a benefit if you're trading in and getting a better deal, or trading it in and you can get a better deal because your car is worth more in a trade. Interesting.
It is.
That's all I got for news. What do you got in history?
What do I have for this week in automotive history? September 7th, 1993. Dodge introduces the Hi campaign.
Hi.
Which was the advertising promo that launched its new small car line known as the Neon.
Neon.
Do you remember the Hi program?
No.
I do, yeah. Hi, I'm Neon on the commercials.
I don't remember that either.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, but it was, Hi, I'm Neon. Dodge was the first to introduce cab-forward design, and the Neon was like brightly colored. Jimmy B writes this stuff, and he's trying to catch me every week, and he usually does. But today, for some reason, even without my glasses, I caught what was coming next, and I will not say it.
Please continue.
Someone needs a Wheaties.
That is funny. Yeah.
Okay, wait, real quick, just so everybody knows.
Are y'all laughing at me again?
For every week when we do the show, I accuse Third Wheel. I accuse the Third Wheel of not doing his homework and doing his due diligence to reading the history and things. So when I put the history together and I email it to him, I would expect that he would read through it so that he has an idea of how it's going to read. He doesn't. He calls himself teleprompter boy because all he does is come in and he'll just read it blindly, which a professional broadcaster could do that and get away with it, but he can't. So he reads word for word. But this time, and I've been telling him, I am going to stick something in there that is going to embarrass you, and I did. And unfortunately for all of us, he caught it and didn't read it. But that's what we're laughing so hard about.
It was only 2 more words than I would have read it. And
it would have been good.
That was funny.
Please continue.
I did total a Neon, though, once. Just to let
Did
you
you?
know. Yeah, the city thought it'd be cool to give the investigators a Neon.
So you just totaled it so you could get something bigger?
Well, no, actually, somebody pulled it out in front of me. Going about, well, I think we're all going about a total of 5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And the thing broke my hand. The airbag blew it out the window, and the whole thing was totaled. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Nice car.
They don't sell those
I've been hit
anymore.
on my bicycle by a Neon.
Well, that's probably not too bad though. Really.
I was fine, but it destroyed the Neon.
I believe that. I believe that from experience.
Please continue, sir.
All right, I'm gonna continue with caution.
Please,
if I can see.
Please do.
September 11, 1970. Ford announces its new subcompact car priced under $2,000, the Ford Pinto. Oh, I had
the Pinto, yeah.
The Pinto, of course, was a car with the exploding gas tank with Ford Motor Company was aware of. In fact, they estimated the cost to correct the problem at $137 million and weighed that against the projected cost of lawsuits arising from the defect, including fatalities. It was a much more attractive $49 million, so they decided not to fix them.
Isn't that sad? I mean, I love Ford. I think Ford's a good company and makes a good product. But back in the day, it was cheaper to deal with lawsuits, even relative to a fatality, than it would be to fix those Pintos.
Still
so they ignored it.
I want some French toast.
Okay, Coltrane, in a minute. Please continue.
September 13, 1977, General Motors introduced the first diesel-powered cars in the United States, the Oldsmobile 88 and 98.
That's right.
Yep, they were available in diesel option that GM said would get 40% better fuel economy. I don't remember that.
They will continue reading, and you'll know exactly
Unfortunately,
why.
they didn't tell consumers about the nasty black soot that would pour from the tailpipe and had a loud and nasty sounding engine.
Yeah. They took a diesel.
I don't even remember seeing one.
Yeah, they did. I've seen a couple of them, but they obviously weren't very strong sellers because it was a diesel engine in a luxury car. Just didn't work out. And it was a early diesel, automotive diesel. And so they were smoky, loud.
And this was the bigger.
This
88.
is the big.
This
88.
wasn't the. I think it was the 82 or 83, 84 that came out with that smaller version 88.
Right. This is the big-bodied one.
Right. Okay.
So not a great idea.
On September 13, 2004, another big. I got to be careful when I read this.
Don't be afraid.
Another big main news of the day related to automobiles. The 276 Pontiac G6. We're given away by Oprah Winfrey. Each worth $28,000. Every member of her studio audience got a free car on this day, and Oprah had the now famous cake boss make her a G6 out of Twinkies.
What
True story.
What is going on? What did that even mean?
Okay. Oprah Winfrey gave away all those Pontiac G6 cars. They were $28,000 a piece. She gave almost 300 of them away.
And they all got a recall.
She didn't have the cake boss guy make one out of Twinkies. I made that up.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh no!
She might have. When she saw it, she saw Twinkie. Is what I meant. You know.
You know what my favorite words when you put them together are?
What's that?
Chitty chitty bang bang.
Coltrane. What would we do without Coltrane? He adds that spark of
chitty chitty bang bang.
Nothing, actually.
Would you like to hear my impression of Chewy?
You know, I don't want to hear Chewy, but did you see Facebook? I let everybody know that you were going to be on with us again today, and the reason was there was no reason. Just so you know where you rate.
What are you trying to say to me?
You're like a step above the third wheel.
Well, I'll be damned.
Listen, when we get back, we are going to get into the battle of Little Big Three. I'm going to explain what that means, and we're going to get into it hot and heavy because there's a lot of things out there relative to the big threes or supposed big three car manufacturers in the United States that may or may not be true, some things you need some insight on, and we're going to discuss it. General Motors, Chrysler, and Ford.
Not really sure that you could even call them all the big three.
You can't.
Other big friends that came along.
You can't associate the word big with any of them, number one, and it's really only two.
And there's also a new player this week.
There are new players. We'll get into that when we get back. Thanks for being with us. We hope you come back after the third wheel issue.
Chitty chitty bang bang.
Dipsticks and Deals, Real Talk 1160.
Weather when you need it. Your Real Talk 1160 forecast every 15 minutes.
Here's the forecast in northern Kentucky, Cincinnati, and the tri-state. For this morning, a partly cloudy sky, mostly sunny through the day with a high of 78 degrees. It'll be clear to partly cloudy tonight, low 56. Tomorrow, increasing clouds, slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm late, high 78. Rather cloud with a couple of showers and thunderstorms for tomorrow night and Tuesday, low tomorrow night 60, Tuesday's high 64. From the Real Talk 1160 Weather Bug Forecast Center, I'm Jim Rinaldi.
You want speed? You want power? You want style? You want something that turns heads? Then you want Easy Street Speed and Customs in Milford. Easy Street offers everything from minor repairs to full restoration, custom builds, late model mod, performance parts, and an on-site dyno for real performance tuning. Hot rods and cool rides at Easy Street Speed and Custom, 701 Chamber Drive in Milford, 513-831-7550. That's 513-831-7550.
We know you should be working, but seeing as you're on Facebook already, why not flip over to the 1160 page and tell us what you think? Then go to 1160.com and listen while you're online. We're worldwide. Real Talk 1160.
Imagine you're reaching for a pen when you slip and, yep, there goes your coffee, right onto your computer. If you're one of the almost 50% of small businesses that don't back up their PCs, you've just lost data, and there's a good chance you'll lose sales. From human error to natural disasters, or even those little oops moments, there's always a risk of your computer system going down, and that could really hurt your business. Take it from Doug McDonald at the Cincinnati Museum Center.
Like every other business, data is critically important. We have over 80,000 records of donors and members who are critical to our livelihood.
That may be enough to make you give up coffee forever, but there's a better way. How does the Museum Center do it?
Cincinnati Bell is a wonderful partner, and with them, I don't worry about these things. That gives me peace of mind.
So don't swear off coffee just yet, because Cincinnati Bell is now offering data backup, part of our Peace of Mind suite. Get 25 gigs for just $25 for 12 months. Now that should help you relax, unless you've had too much coffee. Just call 513-2-BUNDLE or visit myrightsolution.com/backup. Cincinnati Bell, right here for you.
Did you know Fear Buick GMC in Hamilton has been family owned and operated and serving the tri-state since 1932? Isn't that the kind of dealership you want to buy your next car from? And because of that success, Fear Buick GMC announces their upcoming move later this year to their new 26,000 square foot location between Menards and Kohl's near Bridgewater Falls. Come see Ray Tenley, Fear's general manager for the past 25 years, and tell him Dipsticks and Deal sent you. Call 513-863-8111 or visit fearmotors.com. That's FIEHRER Motors.com.
The United States is the birthplace of cool. If the world was a high school, America would be making out in the study hall with Sweden, picking on India, and smoking in the UN restroom with France.
Dennis Miller, weeknights at 10 on Real Talk 1160.
Hi, I'm Jeff Pecora, one of the voices of the Cincinnati Reds, and I'm here with Colleen Hawes, owner of the premier casual upscale restaurant Grandview Tavern and Grill.
Thank you, Jeff. It's a place where business meets casual in a social setting. Come enjoy our New York strips, bacon-wrapped shrimp and grits, or specials like pan-seared sea bass, and don't skip dessert. I promise they are worth the calories.
My wife can't get enough of your handmade specialty pizzas, and I love train beers.
Nothing's better than watching our Reds win on one of our 16 flat-screen TVs.
I found the Grandview Tavern and Grill to be the best place for lunch meetings, with incredible food and impeccable service.
I'm so excited to be out on the patio again. We pack them in out there. Whether you're here to network for business, have an intimate dinner for two, or dance the night away to live music under the stars, this place is for everyone.
Yeah, since coming to the Grandview Tavern, we feel more comfortable than any of the other restaurants. And by the way, Colleen, your outdoor patio rocks.
Jeff, you're too much. Just Google Grandview Tavern and Grill for the latest happenings and list of music.
Hey, this is Rick the Brick, and I gotta tell you about the #1 place for fun in Cincinnati, and it's Dave & Buster's over in Springdale. They have everything from the latest video games, billiards, virtual golf, 2 full bars, and great prizes for kids and for adults. Check out their great specials like the Eat and Play Combo, a delicious entree, and a $10 game card for just $16.99. Monday night is trivia night, and Wednesday, all the games are half price all day. So head on over. For directions and more details, log on to daveandbusters.com. Dave & Buster's, feed your fun already.
The Mike Huckabee Show, weekdays 3 till 5 on Real Talk 1160.
Dipsticks and Deals on Real Talk 1160. Jimmy B, the third wheel. Kenny Coltrane's in the house with us today.
Why so, son?
And listen, just so that everybody listening is up to speed, we thought during the break it might have been a little unfair that we went on hysterical laughter tracks here without explaining it fully. Now, as I said before, third wheel comes in unprepared. That's the way he does it. He reads the history word by word. First time he ever sees it is when you hear him reading it, which I've asked him to please preview so that he can go through the read smoothly, check for errors and that sort of thing, which he will not do because he's teleprompter boy. So I told him, you're going to regret it because I'm going to stick something into the history that you're going to read on air and make you look like an idiot. Well, he got me because he caught it. He saw the words Go ahead and tell them what you were supposed to say.
The second line was supposed to say, remember, hi, I'm a Neon. By Dodge was the first to introduce cab-forward design, and the Neon was like a brightly colored man's sex. It says this line here is so you don't pay because you don't pay attention.
Yeah, see, so if you would have just read it through, it would have been gold. It would have been radio gold. Well, I shouldn't say radio gold. It would have been gold personally. I would have reveled in that for weeks. Almost got you.
Almost.
All right, moving on. The Battle of Little Big Three. Now, forever and a day, and they still, this morning, I saw a couple of articles online that referenced the Big Three, talking about General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler. However, they're not the Big Three relative, and the Big Three being the Big Three U.S. manufacturers.
Right.
They're not the Big Three. Let's step it back to reality.
Globally.
We'll stay with the United States. We'll start with the Big Two. Because Chrysler is not an American company anymore. It hasn't been since 1999 when Daimler bought in. There was a percentage owned by a U.S. company, but the majority was Daimler. It is now sold to a French company, Fiat. In fact, in my notes, which I'll go ahead and say it now, they have purchased, in fact, July of this year, Fiat now has acquired 68.2% of Chrysler. It's a French company. It's not an American company. So we don't have the Big Three in the United States. We have the Big Two, GM and Ford. Now let's take the Big Two and step into reality. They're not big. They're not the Big Two. They're United States or U.S. corporations, car manufacturers. However, General Motors filed bankruptcy. Both of them are outsold by Toyota, which is not an American company, obviously. So how big are they? Really,
not very big.
They're the little two.
Little two.
In fact, the latest reports state GM could be heading into bankruptcy again.
Again,
a second time. So all that taxpayer money that we used to bail them out, here we go again. Round 2 bankruptcy, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that too. The bailout, I mean, you got to start with the facts. GM, they like to promote, and who was it? Tom Hanks that did the little promo about GM has paid back all their money?
Sure.
It's a lie. They have not paid back the money. In fact, the U.S. taxpayer still owns about 26% of General Motors. To make it worse, in order for the government to break even on this whole deal, stock needs to be at $54 a share. And yesterday it closed at, I had it written down here, $24. That's how far off they are. And there's reasons for that too. Plus, the government's probably going to lose, or the taxpayers, is the way I should say it, are going to lose about $25 billion on this deal. And the true amount of the bailout, just overall, is really more like $90 billion.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. A lot of wasted money. And what is GM doing with the money? Well, let's start here. They have increased production in China nearly 55% since getting the bailout money. They have plans to invest $1 billion in Russia, $1 billion in Mexico, $7 billion more in China, and $600 million to a British soccer club for a sponsorship.
Well, that's a lot of American jobs right there, ain't there?
I saw the speech with the General Motors. I don't know which gentleman it was, but he was talking about the China outsourcing.
Yeah.
Right after the government talked about this whole USA rah-rah thing with GM and the bailout being paid off and en route to be paid off back.
Right. And let's not forget
That's terrible.
We're talking about communist countries here.
Yeah.
And we're talking about taking taxpayer money to bail out an American corporation, and then they turn around, and it's just like they did in killing the jobs here. They're investing in Canada, the new truck platform. They're adding 1,200 jobs in Canada to build that thing. Okay.
So they're definitely not practicing what they're preaching.
That's right. Plus, on top of that, remember, they closed over 1,100 dealerships in the United States and stated that it was a cost-saving necessity. And I'm going to tell you, from being from a General Motors dealership, from a General Motors dealership that was one of the 1,100, that's BS. I just want to make sure everybody understands that if a car dealership doesn't sell any cars, the parent of the franchise, in this case General Motors, still makes money on the dealership. They don't do anything for a franchise that they don't get some kind of money. They don't get some compensation for. All of the brochures that they hand out, dealerships pay for those.
Right.
The marketing, the national advertising is all embedded in franchise fees. Every little special tool, promotional item, piece of paper, it doesn't matter. If it comes UPS, FedEx from General Motors, you get a bill for it. And it's not cheap stuff, okay? Because they've got a lock. They're in bed with Kentmore Tools. So they can send you these special required tools to fix these late model cars, and they do. They show up unannounced with a $500 invoice. Thank you very much. And it's auto debit. It's not like you're scratching checks. They just take it. So they were making money on these dealerships. There were other reasons that these dealerships were closed. It doesn't have anything to do about the money. In fact, when GM stated they could cut their infrastructure relative to reps needed, call centers, and all that kind of garbage. You know, they did that 2 years before this. In 2006, GM went from 3 store reps for a franchise down to 1. They reduced their call center. They realigned their warranty and authorization process to require less people to man those stations to aid dealers. So they made all those cuts well before. So there was no overhead, so to speak, relative to dealing with a car dealer that they had to tighten up. It was already done. Moving forward before the break, you know, GM has also decided they are going to put some jobs back in the country. However, they're spending billions of dollars on these tech centers down in Texas. And my issue with that is if you're going to close these dealerships, and you're going to, in other words, you need to put this money and put the jobs where it counts, and that's in production, which I understand is going to be hard when your market globally is overseas, number one. And number two, you're so bent on being cutting edge, and GM is so far behind every other car manufacturer I've ever seen. Look at the model cars that General Motors produces. Look at the Impala. The car hasn't changed. It's old school. It's old Oldsmobile looking. The Malibu, people say, oh, that new Malibu. Dude, that's 2006. You know what I'm saying? They were so far behind that type of car design. It's pitiful. They do have the Camaro, good-looking car. The Corvette's been unchanged since, 99, 98? It's the same body. Their trucks, everything's the same. They're so... It seems to me that their emphasis and their effort is in the wrong place. We'll get into some more of that too. And their sales numbers prove it. You know, this isn't just me making it up or being biased because I worked for a closed GM store. It's because they're not making cars people want, and they're struggling with fuel efficiency standards. We'll get into some more of this stuff. We're going to talk about Chrysler and Ford too. Dipsticks and Deals, Real Talk 1160.
Weather when you need it. Your Real Talk 1160 forecast every 15 minutes.
Here's the forecast in northern Kentucky, Cincinnati, and the tri-state. For this morning, a partly cloudy sky, mostly sunny through the day with a high of 78 degrees. It'll be clear to partly cloudy tonight, low 56. Tomorrow, increasing clouds, slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm late, high 78. Rather cloud with a couple of showers and thunderstorms for tomorrow night and Tuesday, low tomorrow night 60, Tuesday's high 64. From the Real Talk 1160 Weatherbug Forecast Center, I'm Jim Rinaldi.
Summer sports are being played all over the city. For all those sprains, breaks, and treatment, there's only one orthopedic and sports medicine team in town. That's Wellington. Jeff Pecoro here, and I know when my team suffers a setback, we head to Wellington to take advantage of their excellent doctor care and top-notch therapy, even if it's in the evening after a practice or a game. That's right, both the Anderson and Western Ridge Wellington offices offer after-hours care Monday through Friday till 9 o'clock and Saturdays till 1 p.m. with no appointment necessary. For all things Wellington, log on to WellingtonOrtho.com. Get well, get Wellington.
I'm Ellie the Mammoth, and my friend Sid the Sloth knows what being a great parent is all about. I'm responsible, loving, nurturing. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Visit AdoptUsKids.org for more information. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
Nurse, I need you to apply pressure to the head wound until I can get to it. I'm concerned she's lost too much blood.
Oh, no.
You in the corner, who are you? You're not supposed to be here.
She's my girlfriend, Doctor.
You need to wait out in the waiting room.
Please, Doctor, I want to stay with her.
Look, she's been badly injured. So if you want to do what's best for her, you need to let us do our work.
Please, Doctor, she has to be okay. I didn't mean to do this. I love her.
Wait a second. You were the driver?
Yes, but I didn't mean to. I swear, we went to dinner. I was just buzzed. I only had a few drinks.
Just buzzed? Why didn't you tell us that? In that case, your girlfriend is fine.
Hey, sweetie. I feel great. You want to get out of here?
I can't believe this. Really, Doctor? She's really okay?
What, are you kidding? No, not really. Nurse, get me a suture kit. Stat.
Buzzed driving. Maybe we should stop acting like it's no big deal. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, the Ad Council, and this station.
If you drive a car, you must have this number, 1-800-828-0159. The number to STI Towing, the Tri-States Towing Pros. STI handles most motor clubs, including AAA, and they offer prompt, courteous, and professional service all day and all night. Mention Real Talk 1160 and the first 5 miles are free. That's 1-800-828-0159. 1-800-828-0159 for STI Towing.
Dennis Miller? We've got an app for that.
I'm the guy who can't seem to figure out how to turn his radio down.
Download TuneIn Radio for your Android, iPhone, or BlackBerry and listen to Real Talk 1160 anytime, anywhere.
Hey, it's the Wild Man from my new favorite hangout, Willie's Sports Cafe in Covington. If you love sports, you'll love Willie's in Covington. They've got sports on flat screens in the restaurant and the bar. Before the Reds game, take the Willie's shuttle to the ballpark for $3. Then back to Willie's to celebrate a Reds win. If you love food, you'll love Willie's in Covington. All appetizers are just $5 every day from 1 to 7. And daily specials like Monday's Burger Madness, a half-pound burger, waffle fries, and a drink for just $7. Tuesdays, Chicken Madness, a chicken sandwich, waffle fries, and a drink for $7. And Wednesdays, Bang Bang Shrimp, just $5. If you love drinks, you'll love Willie's in Covington. The best happy hour every day from 1 to 7. $2 domestic pints and bottles, $3 domestic drafts, well drinks, and house wine. And check out Willie's Outdoor Deck. Enjoy all Willie's has to offer and the great summer weather at the same time. Take it from the Wild Man. You're going to love Willie's Sports Cafe in Covington. Just over the Prince Spence Bridge on 75 South, or visit williescovington.com.
Between the economy and the price of gas, how about a way to save some money for a change? Lower your insurance premium with help from Huseman Schmidt Insurance. They understand more than most because they've been local, family-owned, and part of your community since 1976. Huseman Schmidt's expertise and common sense approach have helped their clients protect their assets and save money. For all your business and personal insurance needs, call Huseman Schmidt at 513-521-8590 and ask for Rob or AJ, or visit HusemanSchmid.com. Huseman Schmid cares. Traffic and weather, mornings and afternoons. Real Talk 1160.
Dipsticks and deals on Real Talk 1160. If you're just joining us, we were talking about the Battle of Little Big Three, how the supposedly Big Three are competing in the United States and globally. Of course, we're talking about General Motors, Chrysler, and Ford. We've determined that they are the Little Two, no longer the Big Three. Chrysler, of course, which we're going to get in here in just a second, is not an American company any longer. We've been talking about General Motors. And just real quick, this is kind of where I'm going. When we're talking about General Motors, they're not building cars people want for the most part. They're struggling with fuel efficiency in a lot of their models, at least to the point they can't compete with Toyotas and Hondas and things like that, which is what they're going to have to do because Obama's talking about a 54.4 CAFE standard for fuel economy in the next several years. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
The adjustments that everybody had to make for this.
Do you know how expensive it is going to be build cars to have that kind of corporate average? We're going to be all driving smart cars.
Very
They're
expensive.
Killing
smart cars.
They're killing the American car culture completely.
I wish John Deere would start making cars.
Well, Lamborghini built tractors, and look what they're building now. Now, those aren't the most fuel-efficient cars, but who cares?
Yeah.
It's a Lambo. The world's worst fuel economy, just to give you a reference point, I guess we're dogging General Motors. Okay, we're dogging General Motors. I said it. Chevrolet takes the number 2 and 3 spot on the worst fuel economy with their Express van and their Chevrolet Suburban. There are no Fords in the lineup in the top 10 for worst fuel economy. Mercedes has 3, I think, and I think Chrysler has 1. But the top 10, of the top 10, and you would think, and this didn't have anything to do with what model car or what segment auto they were, trucks, car. Everything was pulled into one. And then 2 and 3 spot, the Chevrolet Express van and the Suburban. Now, the most American cars, the most American-made cars, we talked about this once before on a show. To further this, the number 2 most American-made car is the Chevrolet Express van. Okay, kudos to them. However, it's also on the worst fuel economy list. So it's one of the most American-made vehicles in the country, but it's got one of the lowest sales because of the fuel economy. And with fuel prices, which what they are, which we're going to get to, with the economy such that it is, contractors, service people, they can't afford 8 miles, 12 miles a gallon. So they're not selling this Express van. The number 1 spot goes to the Toyota Avalon. The Camry's also in one of the top, built down here in Georgetown. So is the Avalon. The Sienna minivan by Toyota, also, that's number 3 for the most American-made cars. The Jeep Liberty and the Chrysler 200 convertible are on the list, but they're owned by the French. Honda has 3 entries, and Ford has 3 entries. So there you go. I think that kind of puts into perspective where our bailout money went and what that company, General Motors, is doing with the money and why they're likely headed for a second round of bankruptcy. But
you just start riding horses again.
You know, we might be there. We'll see after November.
You're a big dude, Kenny. You need to stay off a horse.
He'd have to ride a Clydesdale.
I've gotten...
Hey, what year's your Clydesdale? That's a 2014, man.
Yeah, those things hurt. I was chasing one because it was a Budweiser. You know, Budweiser Clydesdales.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
I got tangled up underneath that thing. That hurt.
You're supposed to move out of their way during the parade.
What were
Kenny.
you doing under a Clydesdale?
I was trying to get to the beer.
Oh, in the wagon.
In the wagons.
Yeah, he was standing in a parade and he stood out in the street.
You know, Kenny, I don't really.
Well, I thought that's why they were going down the. It's not real.
No, it's not real.
Yeah, so I went to jail for nothing.
Again. You're always innocent.
Well, I figured they're going down the street with this thing. That's what they were doing, right? Have some beer. Nope, that's not what they were doing.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
Thank you for that. That was perfect. Perfect timing. Thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking. Hey, Chrysler Corporation alluded to this earlier. They got $4 billion of a $7 billion bridge loan that they requested. They then asked for another $6 billion from the Energy Department. Ultimately, Chrysler got about $10 billion. This is still while they were partly American-owned, partly Daimler-owned, but they did get the bailout money. Chrysler committed to an electric vehicle by 2010. Said they would ramp up their numbers to 500,000 units by this year. Does Chrysler have an electric car? No, they don't. So they reneged on their deal for the money. The best they could do, because they did try, the best they could do was a golf cart type of car built by their offshoot GEM Electric, which they have now sold. So they can't even build a golf cart company and keep it running.
You know, they asked me to be in charge of headlight installation.
I know better than that. Or maybe that's why Chrysler's in so much trouble.
For golf carts?
Well, he tried to install some lights on a golf cart, And let me just say this. The fire department was there.
Well, that sounds like some Coltrane stuff right there.
That's exactly what I said when you told that story. That sounds like
you
Coltrane.
didn't use the right duct tape, did you?
That was it.
Hey, Chrysler was only an American company until 1998 when they partnered with Daimler, Germans. So that was really kind of the end of Chrysler as an American, wholly owned American company. Like I said earlier, as of July, Fiat, the French company, it's actually had the numbers wrong. It's 61.8% they own of Chrysler. So it's a French company. Chrysler also shut down dealerships, including some local ones. Citing jumping on that bandwagon, that political bandwagon, and shutting down a lot of Chrysler dealerships. Now, Chrysler, unlike General Motors, I think they build some good-looking cars. The Chrysler 200 is a pretty sharp-looking car. The Chrysler 300, especially the SRT8 version, is really cool-looking. They got the Challenger. Got a good-looking pickup truck. So they actually do have some models that people are buying, but we have to discount all of that because they're a French company now. So that's why we've got General Motors as an American company headed to bankruptcy likely, took a bunch of the taxpayer money, spent it overseas, and spent it on worthless energy products, and here we are. Ford Motor Company. Now, this is kind of the big three success story, I think, because Ford didn't need any of the bailout money. They actually liquidated some of their assets earlier, seeing. Now, here's the thing. Ford did what a responsible corporation would do.
They were structured internally.
They were structured, and they saw the economy trend, and they started doing something about it early. Okay? So they liquidated some assets. They mortgaged some stuff. They created some working capital that would get them through the rough times. Now, here's the deal. Ford's also not stupid and going to let Chrysler and General Motors get billions of dollars to develop vehicles and add production, and Ford not get in on it. They got to stay competitive, so they also had to request funds. Ultimately, they didn't take any of the money, but, I mean, it would be stupid not to get in on that. What's fair is fair.
So it's just in case.
Just in case they need it. They opened up a large, like a $5 billion credit line, just in case, so that they could get in the race with the hybrid and electric vehicles. That was their plan. And really, relative to General Motors, Chrysler, and Ford, Ford has done the best job with the hybrids. They have the well, it's not a hybrid, but they have the EcoBoost engine, the big high-mileage V6 engines. They do have the hybrid cars. They do have a full electric car. They are doing more and have better results with hybrid and energy-efficient cars than either General Motors or Chrysler. In fact, the dealership that I'm at, we are going to be a prototype store, and we are having the electric pumps installed at our store. So everybody says electric will never work. Where are you supposed to charge it up, et cetera, et cetera? Well, you're going to be able to go to your Ford dealer for one, because we are going to have one installed in our dealership this year. You'll be able to come swipe your credit card, charge your car up, have a little drink of cappuccino.
What about cold fusion tubes?
Oh, boy. Third wheel. We'll get to that when we get back. Dipsticks and Deals on Real Talk 1160.
This is Real Sports with Wild Man Walker.
I was never a fan of Dusty Baker as a player, but as a manager, he cost me money. He cost me money in that Cubs series against the Marlins by leaving Mark Pryor in way too long. I'm screaming at the TV at the Harris Casino, get that guy out, he's gassed.
Finally, the reason comes out while Wild Man has the goo for one Dusty Baker.
Real Sports, weekdays at 5 on Real Talk 1160. Real Talk 1160.
WQRT Florence, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati's home for Dean Muccio, Laura Ingram, Michael Savage, Mike Huckabee, and Real Sports with Wild Man Walker.
Crank it up to 11.
From America's Radio News, I'm Leslie Lotto. A third apparent insider attack in Afghanistan, this time 4 U.S. service members killed. NATO reporting at least one Afghan police officer turned his gun on coalition troops at a remote checkpoint before escaping. NATO reporting 8 troops died in these type of attacks over the last 3 days. AP reporter Heidi Vogt says NATO officials recently took steps to try to find ways to prevent these sort of attacks.
International officials continue to maintain that these are exceptions. Even though they're increasingly common exceptions, they say that they still do believe that international and Afghan forces can work together.
The most recent attacks amid an international uproar about that internet video mocking Islam. There were 2 protests against the film in Afghanistan today, one in the capital Kabul and one in the western city of Herat. Both appeared peaceful, though. Suspicions that the man questioned by authorities in Southern California about that film that mocked the Prophet Muhammad is actually a filmmaker, but using an alias. Here's AP reporter Christina Hogue.
Federal officials have confirmed that Sam Basile is a pseudonym. They haven't actually stated that Nakula Basile Nakula is, in fact, Sam Basile, although Nakula has used several aliases similar to that name.
A deadly germ's been spreading. Here's America's radio news reporter, Rick Vincent.
It's being described as a superbug. The deadly germ is untreatable by most antibiotics, and it's killed a 7th person at the National Institutes of Health Clinical Center in Maryland. The NIH told the Washington Post that the boy got the bug while being treated for complications from a bone marrow transplant. He was the 19th patient to get the antibiotic-resistant strain of KPC.
First up for breaking news, this is America's Radio News.
I see gold prices are bouncing around a bit. I guess riding the gold bull this year will take a little more guts for many investors. But not me. I buy gold on price dips and then hope and pray it dips further. Why? Because long ago I learned from Craig Smith and Swiss America that the portion of my portfolio I hold in gold is my wealth insurance against a complete currency or financial collapse. Look, no one likes to buy insurance, but would you drive your car without it? No, because it protects your investment. The same goes for my gold wealth insurance. I hope and pray I never get in a car accident or need my gold. But if and when I do, I cherish the wise advice from Swiss America to protect my hard-earned money with hard-owned money. Call Swiss America now, 800-289-2646, 800-BUY-COIN. Get their 2012 Wealth Insurance Kit, 800-289-2646, 800-BUY-COIN. Don't worry about market volatility. Get some wealth insurance, then relax.
Weather when you need it. Your Real Talk 1160 forecast every 15 minutes.
Here's the forecast for Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati, and the Tri-State. As you wrap up the weekend, it'll be mostly sunny with a high of 79 this afternoon with a light east wind. It'll be partly cloudy tonight, a low 56. Again, we'll have a light east wind. Monday, there's a slight chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms. We'll start the week with a partly sunny day, or high 76. We'll have showers, possibly a thunderstorm Tuesday with a high of 65. From the Real Talk 1160 Weatherbug Forecast Center, this is Rod Tanner.
Savage. The only cure for extreme liberalism is shock therapy, massive doses of psychotropics, and hopefully years of re-education.
Michael Savage, weekdays at noon on Real Talk 1160.
Whether you want a little bit of this or a little bit of that, number one King's Kia has it all.
With the best selection in town, get a 2012 Kia Soul for as little as $14,900.
Sock Monkey included.
Let's go one better. Choose from the all-new 40 MPG 2012 Kia Rio, Forte or Soul for as little as $14,900.
Wrap and hamster not included, but free oil changes are. And with the best in the biz, 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty, these deals are hard to beat.
King's Kia.
Visit us online at kingskia.com or in the Kings Auto Mall.
You're going to look great buying a wheel of new Kia, I guarantee.
Here at Columbia Hyundai, because of high trade value, it's possible to trade in your used car and keep your current payment or even lower it for a comparable new Hyundai.
Wow, John, what are we talking about payment-wise?
Right now, get a new 2013 Hyundai Accent for $149 a month, or a new 2013 Elantra for $169 a month, or a new 2013 Sonata for just $179 a month. This is a 36-month lease. Other than tax and title, only $19.99 due at signing. And all these cars get over 40 miles per gallon on the highway.
This is National Fuel Efficiency Month.
National Fuel Efficiency Month is not an official government holiday, but it is with new Hyundai buyers. Plus, all new Hyundais come with America's best warranty, a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and the Hyundai Assurance.
That's a better warranty than a Jaguar.
And we can get finance approval in 30 minutes or less, even if you have blemished credit. And remember, we need good trades, so we'll give you top dollars for yours.
Only at Columbia Hyundai on Montgomery Road at I-275.
Call 489-2000 or see our video at ColumbiaHyundai.com.
We know you should be working, but seeing as you're on Facebook already, why not flip over to the 1160 page and tell us what you think? Then go to 1160.com and listen while you're online. We're worldwide. Real Talk 1160.
Dad, remember when you asked me, what do you want to do with your life? And I was like, I want to get paid. Well, right after that, you said, there's no job called getting paid.
Really? I said that?
Yeah. And that's exactly when I knew. I wanted to go to college.
You never know which moments will be the ones they remember forever. So take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Real life. Real people. Real Talk 1160. Welcome to Dipsticks and Deals with Jimmy B and the Third Wheel on Real Talk 1160. Everything you need to know about cars, buying, financing, trading, maintenance, repairs, auto body, and more. Join the program by calling 513-579-1160. Now, here are your hosts, Jimmy B and the Third Wheel on Real Talk 1160.
Welcome back to Dipsticks and Deals, Real Talk 1160. Jimmy B, the Third Wheel, and Kenny Coltrane's here with us today.
That's me.
If you're just joining us here in the second hour, we were talking about the battle of Little Big Three, talking about General Motors, Chrysler, Ford, giving you the skinny, giving you the some facts, giving you some opinion. And the reason that we wanted to get into something like this, because you can't have an automotive radio talk show and not talk about one of the hottest topics in the country right button up against an election. And this is a big one, especially if GM is going to ultimately have to file bankruptcy again. Too big to fail? What about too big to fail twice? I don't know. I don't know what they'll do. But we've got an issue, and that's what we've been discussing. And we left off with Ford Motor Company, who Ford is actually, of the three, the probably one of the more healthy, one of the more innovative, one of the more successful, wholly owned, didn't take the bailout, didn't need it. But really what it amounts to is we don't have the big three anymore. We've got the little two. We've got General Motors and we've got Ford. Chrysler's owned by the French. Kenny Coltrane mentioned something at break, which was a good question relative to Ford's association with Mazda. Well, unlike Chrysler, who got involved with Daimler and ultimately with
Fiat,
and Daimler still owns a portion too, by the way. But those are where they bought into the company. Okay, they have controlling interests in the corporation itself. Ford, just like Chrysler, General Motors, BMW, most manufacturers will have alliances or associations with foreign car manufacturers or other car manufacturers to build particular platforms that make it less expensive to build and market in two countries. That's all that is. So there's some trade-offs. Yeah, we're going to put our Ford engines in your Mazdas over here, and we're going to put your Mazda engine in our Ford car over here. But those two companies don't own one another. They have their business deals.
Right.
Okay, so there is a difference. A lot of people, and I can remember people, well, Ford's Mazda, right? Ford owns Mazda. Mazda owns Ford, and a lot of people don't understand that those are business deals.
No, they buy I need 10,000 transmissions. So I'll buy the 10,000 transmissions from Mazda, and they buy this from us or from Ford, and
right. But what the biggest boost they get out of it?
Don't blow that off.
I'm going to blow it off because it's shared technology. It's shared technology because you guys are doing something good over here, and we're doing something good. If we get together and build this, we can build something great and both make a lot of money. That's how that works.
Right. Peanut butter and jelly.
That's good. Right. It is. That's a good reference. Peanut butter and jelly. It's BMW.
No, I want one.
Who did I say last week? BMW, and who is getting in? Hyundai. Was that right? No, Toyota. Somebody. BMW is getting in with an Asian car manufacturer to trade off diesel technology for hybrid technology.
Probably Toyota.
The reason that's what it was, Toyota, because Toyota doesn't know how to build a diesel engine. BMW doesn't know how to make a fuel-efficient vehicle. You follow me?
I'm following you.
They're not buying one another or one buying the other. They're just getting together to share engineering so they can both profit and make these kind of cars that they're going to need to make.
The Japanese model.
Yes.
Don't reinvent the wheel.
They all just
make
need,
it a little better.
They just need to run on moonshine, and then we can all just drive whatever we want.
Well, I think they should run on stupidity because then fuel would be free.
That's
and we
true.
could juice our cars up just talking politics.
Have you ever had...
You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Have you ever put peanut butter on your grits?
No, but I heard that this morning. Somebody was saying peanut butter and grits.
It's interesting.
I don't eat grits anyway.
Yeah, man, I don't even touch that stuff.
I had no choice.
Yeah, we know. You were at the spa.
I was at the spa.
You got when they do your facial scrub and your mask, they make you.
I mean, don't
grits
get me
and peanut
wrong.
butter.
I like my grits. I just that peanut butter was a little insulting.
I'm not a big grits guy. Did you look up a recipe of the week? Did you say you had a pit stop recipe this week before we go too much further?
No.
Well, this would have been a good day for it, being that it's Cincinnati
grits and
Bengals home
peanut butter?
opener.
I know, but I had a little bit of an issue today getting fuel prices.
It would seem like we would have a tailgate recipe because the Bengals are playing today, right? So we got tailgating. You need to look one up, but do you want to get in? Would you like to change the format a little bit and let me do Car of the Week and Dipstick before you get into fuel?
Yes, and you should finish. Are you finished with your big three?
Yeah, because I think I covered everything. Actually, no. One good point to Ford when we finish up Ford. Ford had dealerships closed too. And I know a lot of people are going, well, Ford closed dealerships. Well, here, you need to understand this. All of that happened well before the whole TARP deal, okay? Ford made it voluntary. They didn't force dealerships to close. They didn't file bankruptcy. They didn't hide behind the bankruptcy laws and stuff. They didn't force dealers out. They offered dealers, on a voluntary basis, a buyback. So they were going to buy back the point, and what they did, making it attractive to dealerships who wanted to get in this program, they bought back their inventory, their cars. They bought back their parts inventory, and they paid them some money. So Ford actually did it the way that it should be done, making it a voluntary, B, compensating these dealers for doing such. Now, they had a limited time frame to do it, but it worked. They had enough dealers that did it, that it worked in their plan. Unlike General Motors and Chrysler, okay, who came in and took the franchises, stuck the dealers with their inventory, stuck the dealers with their parts inventory, didn't pay them a dime for any of it, and just kind of left them hang out there on their own. So that finishes the Ford part of the Battle of Little Big Three. And it's the little two, we decided, and they're battling Toyota. Toyota's the best-selling car on the planet. Best-selling car in this country. And they're Japanian.
All right, on that note, you're talking about the recipes. I found one, and I'm getting hungry.
Tailgating's coming up here in a few, so what do you got?
All right, tailgate. How about a s'mores pizza for your dessert?
What?
Shut up.
Flapjacks.
Ingredient. It's a 25-minute. It takes 25 minutes. 10 minutes to prep, 15 minutes to cook. And that's 2 pizzas. It's easy.
Let's hear it.
Okay, you get 2 1-pound store-bought pizza dough balls. Or you could buy them already pre-made. You can buy them as well.
You can buy a ball of dough?
No, you can buy the ones that are already smashed up and ready to go. And then you get a 1/4 cup of silver in your body, you'll die. Slivered almonds, 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 1 sleeve of graham crackers, crushed, about 1 1/4 cups.
1/4 cup.
1 1/4 cup. 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder, 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of fine sea salt, 3 cups of mini mushrooms, 2 4-ounce dark chocolate bars broken into 1/4-inch chunks.
I'm going to stop you.
That's
I'm going to stop you.
That's
The
crazy.
ingredients that you just read don't go together. I don't care who you are.
Yeah,
Not going to happen.
Why would you do that to your body?
Just shut up and preheat the oven for 400 for about, 6 minutes.
Just get your chicken wing on.
We'll finish this really quick when we come back. We got to take a break.
I'm not eating anymore.
Real Talk 1160.
And whatever comes our way, yeah, darling, go make it happen. Take the
Weather when you need it. Your Real Talk 1160 forecast every 15 minutes.
Here's the forecast for Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati, and the Tri-State. As you wrap up the weekend, it'll be mostly sunny with a high of 79 this afternoon with a light east wind. It'll be partly cloudy tonight, a low 56. Again, we'll have a light east wind. Monday, there's a slight chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms. We'll start the week with a partly sunny day, or high 76. We'll have showers, possibly a thunderstorm Tuesday with a high of 65. From the Real Talk 1160 Weatherbug Forecast Center, this is Rod Tanner.
The prospect of retirement can be exciting and scary at the same time. At Brown Financial Advisors, we have found many people either approaching or currently in retirement fail to truly maximize some of the benefits offered to them, primarily Social Security. What is it? How does it work? Because these decisions are so important, our firm has assembled an informational packet on Social Security. If you'd like your complimentary copy of Social Security Maximization, call Brown Financial Advisors today at 513-575-9654. That's 575-9654.
Listen to what's new.
Well, I don't think the Secret Service agents in question were on their best behavior. They're in a little bit of trouble and probably going to have to do some explaining.
Lucy, what have you got to say for yourself?
The Mike Huckabee Show, weekday afternoons at 3 on Real Talk 1160.
This is John Outlaw, and we're looking for some key people who would love to have an opportunity to change their life financially by being part of a company that's changing the way commerce works. There's over 330 million cell phones in the U.S. today, and the average monthly bill is over $70. There's now a plan that offers unlimited voice, texting, and data for $49 a month with no contract. What's great is the service is on one of the top 3 carriers, far surpassing AT&T. So we're looking for people willing to get the word out about this wonderful plan. Think about this for a moment. There's an opportunity for you to create a substantial income over time by getting paid to use your cell phone. There's so much more to this wonderful opportunity we can't cover because of lack of time. So for information, give me a call, John, at 734-480-9000. That's 734-480-9000. Call now. At least get information. We won't try to convince you about anything. We want you to have the details. 734-480-9000. 9,000.
Did you know Fear Buick GMC in Hamilton has been family owned and operated and serving the tri-state since 1932? Isn't that the kind of dealership you want to buy your next car from? And because of that success, Fear Buick GMC announces their upcoming move later this year to their new 26,000 square foot location between Menards and Kohl's near Bridgewater Falls. Come see Ray Tenley, Fear's general manager for the past 25 years, and tell him Dipsticks and Deal sent you. Call 513-863-8111 or visit fearmotors.com. That's FIEHRE Motors.com. Jerry Doyle.
But what did CNN really want? They wanted a tragedy, but they're calling it a miracle. The very same network that seems to spend most of its time denouncing religion is quick to call something a miracle.
The Jerry Doyle Show, weeknights at 7 on Real Talk 1160.
Hey, it's the Wild Man from Real Sports 1160, here with my friend Rob Bullock from Bullock Roofing.
Hey, Wild Man.
Rob, I hear you guys are the roofing experts.
That's right, Wild Man. If it has to do with the roof, we can handle it. Roof contracting and replacement, shingles, gutters, chimney repair, skylights. We even offer replacement windows.
Now, what sets Bullock Roofing apart from the other guys?
Wild Man, we are the roofing experts. We do it once, we do it right, and our pride shows in our work. Our customers mean the world to us, and their satisfaction speaks volumes. We're based on old-fashioned value and fair prices.
And word of mouth today is everything.
That's right. Our popularity has grown thanks to our customers telling their family and friends about our quality work.
Take it from Rob Bullock with Bullock Roofing. If you need help with your roof, gutters, chimney, even replacement windows, get the treatment you deserve from the experts at Bullock Roofing.
We service the entire greater Cincinnati area. Find us on the web at bullockroofing.com. That's bullockroofing.com. Call us for a free estimate today at 513-771-2096.
You want speed? You want power? You want style? You want something that turns heads? Then you want Easy Street Speed and Customs in Milford. Easy Street offers everything from minor repairs to full restoration, custom builds, late model mod, performance parts, and an on-site dyno for real performance tuning. Hot rods and cool rides at Easy Street Speed and Custom, 701 Chamber Drive in Milford, 513-831-7550. That's 513-831-7550.
Laura Ingram, mornings at 9. Real Talk 1160.
Dipsticks and Deals.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back. Before we went to break, Third Wheel was giving us the tailgate recipe for the day that just disgusted me internally.
That was awful.
Do you want to finish that up there? I know we were talking about s'mores pizza, which I would have to think had to do with marshmallows, chocolate, but I know you said pepper. and
chili powder, cayenne
salt,
pepper,
sea salt. Which those things can't go together and taste good, can they?
Somebody likes it. Sweet and
I try it.
You ever eat anything that says sweet and salty?
Sweet and sour, not sweet.
Sweet and salty, like those
Salty.
peanuts with raisins and M&Ms and all in it.
I've never tried such things.
I'm done.
I just like to stick to my flapjacks.
So what do you do with this thing? Is it something you cook or do you eat it cold?
No, you throw it at your neighbor's dog.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you cook it.
Let's move forward because we're going to have some interesting discussion. We're going to skip fuel prices because the third wheel has put together. He actually did his homework on this. We're going to talk about fuel prices. I'm not sure where it's going to go, so hold on tight. Let's get to Car of the Week.
Car of the Week.
1971 Dodge Demon 340. This is a 340 cubic inch. 360 horsepower, 4-speed or torque flight automatic with a Carter 4-barrel. Now, this car was basically a Duster with a Dart front end. Okay, so it was a Duster. They put a Dart front end on it. It had the signature vertical slit taillights and dual hood scoops with a blacked-out finish, made the car look really mean. Now, here's what was interesting. Religious groups also got mean, too, soon after the car's launch due to the name and the emblem, which was the cartoon devil with the trident. So they came out with the demon, and church didn't like it.
Wasn't that little cartoon guy like on, don't they have that little devil guy on like some Spam or something? Some little can?
Red Devil.
Red Devil.
Red Devil.
What is that? Lighter fluid.
Lighter fluid.
Red Devil lighter fluid.
All right. Spam, I don't know where I got that.
I went with it, though.
because the devil makes spam. That's why. So, yeah, I think it was interesting. They come out with a car, and
That's hatred.
I don't even know what that meant.
I mean, think about. I mean, it's never changing. I mean, the church, a lot of religious organizations get mad about some stuff, and including the name of. You can't name a car the devil.
Well,
and you can't put it. You can't put a picture of devil on the back of a car.
That's 1971 too.
But it was a very fast car. It actually ran like 14 2/4 miles out of the
Wasn't
box.
there an original name for that?
What's that?
Wasn't there another name for that? The original name that got scrapped put on the
another name for Duster?
For the Dodge Demon.
Well, no, it was for Duster.
What's it called? The Dodge Satan?
No, I don't know. Why don't I do Dipstick of the Week and you research it and come back and tell us?
He's so clever.
All right, listen. The Dipstick of the Week here.
This is stupid.
This guy's name is Tony Weingartner, whom I think we'll call Tony Wienergartner this time. He's from France, of course. Tony decided to try and hitchhike on a road in France as an experiment to see how many drivers would stop and offer him a ride. Now, that's probably not a bad social experiment because I think I've seen something like that before. What makes Tony different, he went a step further and had his friend who was stationed nearby with a video camera and a tattoo gun tattoo a hash mark on his ribs every time the car passed without stopping.
Well, that's just crazy.
His friend's going to tattoo on his ribs.
Every time a car went by and didn't stop
His
to pick
friend
him up. Yes.
Tattoos himself.
Pay attention. His friend, the tattoo artist, tattoos Tony's rib.
Oh, okay.
Every time a car passes by, he has to get a hash mark tattooed on his rib. Okay, so now Tony has 48 hash marks permanently tattooed on his ribs for what will forever he will have to explain and try to make something sound logical and meaningful.
He's a walking research paper.
He's a dipstick. Tony Weingartner from France. Very good. Listen, we're going to talk about fuel prices, and then we're going to turn the reins over to the third wheel because he told me that he had a few things that he wanted to talk about relative to the fuel prices. So third wheel, what the hell are you talking about?
Well, as I was preparing for the show, like I always do, well prepared weeks before, I had started to do fuel prices. And, every week it gets me just in an uproar with prices. Last week I talked about how fuel prices causes a ripple effect. And just like this segment here, it's going to be a ripple effect. I'll probably rant and rave, but we're going to mix gas prices, with road rage.
Just don't tase me again if you get mad.
I left it at home. So the road rage segment and the gas segment here is going to be together because I had it. I'm done. I can't handle it anymore. So I just sort of had to write everything down to keep it clean. And a little disclaimer, this is
when you were telling me about it, it wasn't clean at all. And I'm like, third wheel, you can't say those kind of words on radio. Can't.
Exactly. So it was sort of one of those things where I had to write it down, make sure it was clean, and probably some good stuff I couldn't say or I want to say. But that's just how I feel. And so that's just my opinion.
Well, let's hear it.
Well, let's hear it. What are you talking about?
Thanks for the setup, Jay. Go ahead.
You like that? We got too much time to lead into something. All right, so Jimmy B, you know I don't express myself to everybody outside my little world. You know that too, Kenny.
The bubble boy.
The bubble boy. So if I tell you guys something, or I tell a family or friends, that's my opinion. I keep everything else to myself when it comes to politics and everything else. But again, looking at the gas prices, I just got upset about it. So I thought I'd write a little and talk a little bit about it. So fuel prices was at $3.98 when I put a whole tank of gas in my car. That was this week. And like I said, it makes other parts of your budget grow. Makes your groceries go up. Make everything else go up. That's the ripple effect. Pretty much any product that you have that is shipped by air, sea, or land.
Right.
The fuel prices are going to affect it.
They got to put gas in.
They got to make their money.
Right.
So, as a hardworking, tax-paying citizen,
yes, you are,
veteran,
yes,
of the military, police, and the police.
There's a vein starting to stick out of his head.
I have dealt with
Here it comes.
everything that I just can't take it anymore, man. People are just oblivious to the obvious. And that's a Robism. That's what I make up.
A Robism?
Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about it later. So anyway, Jim, you know, I got a lot of common sense. Got a little bit of education behind me. And again, this is not the opinion of Real Talk or anybody else. But I am just so tired of this crap.
Preach on.
Preach on? You want me to preach on?
Preach on.
All right. I'm trying to keep it clean. But I got some solutions for our problems.
Okay.
Here we go.
Well, first of all, a little history. Talking about Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of little music. Anyway, Americans, you know, we don't call ourselves Ohio Americans,
right.
Texas American,
right.
Kentucky American. I think we should. There's nothing wrong with being proud of your heritage. I know Coltrane doesn't have one. But I know it's not, you know, being proud of your heritage and whatever, but we are an American.
Yes.
So we should not have to be put down like this as far as not our voices not being heard or being proud of what we are and what our country is. Basically, like more unity. You go to a football game on a Friday night, people unify more there than they do about their own country and their own politics.
That's a fact.
You like that? That is a fact. So, as frustrated as I am, and I'm still trying to, I've cooled way down. But fraud, waste, and abuse was a thing that was brought up in our military, and this is all leads to everything that we do. But the $2,500 hammer, you guys all remember that?
Right.
Okay. And also, let me state one thing too. I was union. My grandfather's union. My father's union, and I'm still union. But there's a lot of things we got to understand. We pay we actually buy in this country more than we make. So we spend more than we make.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I don't care who we are. That's all of our problem.
Right.
So, I have a few suggestions.
Okay. You got time.
You got that? You get that? All right. So, I just started thinking and how out of control this government was and the corruption. And I usually tell people that people who can control the corruption in their country will control their country. And that goes for big business, too. Once corruption gets out of control, you have no control. You have no company. You have no country. And that's where we're at, and that's what I believe.
Preach on.
Do you understand me?
I do.
Do you hear me?
Amen.
I hear you.
All right. So
Hallelujah.
here's a few suggestions, and remember, this is from my heart, and it's from a simple working guy. What do you guys think about welfare? Now, I'm going to get back on this, and I'm going to tell you that the true numbers on unemployment, they don't count people who are on welfare.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
And you know, in the Great Depression, they didn't have welfare.
That's right.
So what are our real numbers?
We're going to find out, but we're going to have to take a break.
Let's take a break, because I'm going to make it quick after this.
And we'll roll this around into gas prices.
No, we will.
Dipsticks and Deals, Real Talk 1160.
Weather when you need it. Your Real Talk 1160 forecast every 15 minutes.
Here's the forecast for Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati, and the Tri-State. As you wrap up the weekend, it'll be mostly sunny with a high of 79 this afternoon with a light east wind. It'll be partly cloudy tonight, a low 56. Again, we'll have a light east wind. Monday, there's a slight chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms. We'll start the week with a partly sunny day or high 76. We'll have showers, possibly a thunderstorm Tuesday with a high of 65. From the Real Talk 1160 Weather-Bug Forecast Center, this is Rod Tanner.
Do you suffer from pain like joint pain, muscle pain, back pain, or painful arthritis? Then you must listen to this important message. Nearly half of all Americans suffer from some kind of pain due to chronic inflammation. Anetoblock is a breakthrough supplement scientifically proven to quickly and effectively reduce inflammation and get rid of pain. Anetoblock is so effective in preventing excessive inflammation and reducing the pain, we guarantee you'll feel a significant difference in just a few days. Best of all, Anetoblock is now available to try for free. That's right. Call 800-880-0875 now and get out of pain absolutely free. Anetoblock is now looking for real-life testimonials for anyone who has back pain, muscle pain, or painful arthritis. Call 800-880-0875 to get your free supply and get out of pain today. Just call 800-880-0875 for details. Call today, 800-880-0875. That's 800-880-0875. Again, 800-880-0875.
Hey folks, Jimmy B here. Did you know that one of the most important structural aspects of your vehicle is the windshield? It accounts for almost 50% of the rollover strength. That's why you must choose the right company for windshield repair and replacement, and that's Mel's Auto Glass. Mel's Auto Glass has certified professionals serving the Tri-State for more than 25 years. Don't trust something so important to anyone else. The experts at Mel's Auto Glass for quality, value, and peace of mind. Call 513-563-7771. That's 513-563-7771.
This is Real Sports with Wild Man Walker.
Everybody has a cell phone that's got a camera on it, and they all take your picture. They do it to me, and all I do is do the stupid pre- and post-game show.
Real Sports, weekdays at 5 on Real Talk 1160.
Reincarnation Auto Body and Paint of Northern Kentucky. This is Don. May I help you?
Don, this is Rick from 1160, man.
Hey, Rick. How are you doing?
Not good. Okay, long story short, Pecora loaned me his car to go pick up his dry cleaning, and on my way out, I backed right into a light pole. He is going to kill me.
All right, Rick. Settle down. Bring it in, and I'll personally inspect the damage. I'm positive we can take care of it with no problem at all.
You are the man. But Don, this has to stay between me and you.
Hi, I'm Don Metalka, owner of Reincarnation Auto Body and Paint. Bring your damaged vehicle, and I will personally take the time to show you why Reincarnation is different. We're flexible with your deductible, and I know my experience with handling insurance companies will help you get your repairs done smoothly. Just Google Reincarnation of Northern Kentucky, where we bring good cars back to life. Reincarnation Auto Body and Paint, Don Metalka speaking.
Hey, Don, it's Pecoro. See, I was out driving in the wife's van, and I drove by your lot, and I thought I saw a car that looked like mine.
Yeah, that's a popular color.
Laura Ingram?
Yeah, ding, 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 ding.
We've got an app for that.
Oh, fantastic.
Download TuneIn Radio for your Android, iPhone, or BlackBerry. And listen to Real Talk 1160 anywhere, anytime.
Your healthy radio addiction.
Imagine you're reaching for a pen when you slip and, yep, there goes your coffee, right onto your computer. If you're one of the almost 50% of small businesses that don't back up their PCs, you've just lost data, and there's a good chance you'll lose sales. From human error to natural disasters, or even those little oops moments, there's always a risk of your computer system going down, and that could really hurt your business. Take it from Doug McDonald at the Cincinnati Museum Center.
Like every other business, data is critically important. We have over 80,000 records of donors and members who are critical to our livelihood.
That may be enough to make you give up coffee forever, but there's a better way. How does the Museum Center do it?
Cincinnati Bell is a wonderful partner, and with them, I don't worry about these things. That gives me peace of mind.
So don't swear off coffee just yet, because Cincinnati Bell is now offering data backup, part of our Peace of Mind suite. Get 25 gigs for just $25 for 12 months. Now that should help you relax, unless you've had too much coffee. Just call 513-2-BUNDLE or visit myrightsolution.com/backup. Cincinnati Bell, right here for you.
Weather every 15 minutes throughout your day. Real Talk 1160.
Dipsticks and Deals on Real Talk 1160. We're well into fourth gear on the show today. And just as a reminder, we probably a little bit of a political undertone to the show today. But it's relative because our country's in a unique position. We're up against an election, presidential election. So this stuff is pertinent. It's what's hot and what's on our mind. And Third Wheel started with fuel prices and how they've gone up, and now they're talking about topping $4 again here soon.
But it's a steady pace, not like it go down again.
Yeah, it wasn't the drastic up and down. It's this steady climb. And all that's happening in and around us relative to our economy and the car industry, which a large part of our economy is based on the automotive industry. So it's important. Talking about gas prices and green energy and all that kind of stuff. Please continue.
Well, and it's the thing that the money, extra money that we have to spend when we're making the same, but we have to pay more for stuff, it comes out of our pocket, limits us to do the things that we want to be able to do, talking about like Easy Street Customs and all this stuff and fixing up our hot rods or whatever else we want to do. That's the problem that I have. And complaining about gas prices is just a small thing that, that's finally got on my nerves. That as people, what we can do. And what I'm saying is, real quick, is some of my solutions. I've solved problems my whole professional life. I've solved problems from, life and death on up. And my whole thing is, like the fraud and waste and abuse program I thought was great in the military in the 80s and early 90s. But the thing is that the $2,500 hammer, it's got to stop. Every company does it. They look for what's going on with operational loss, and they figure it out. So you think about it. If you go into a school, if you go into a government building, or you go to any business, and you actually went in there and audited everything they had to buy. So say a school has to have certain products, and they order it. Well, now somebody loses it, a little bit of damage or whatever, they can order it again because they have just, what do they call that, carte blanche. I mean, they just do whatever.
Right.
So you go in there and you find the same thing, same product that they could be using, and there's multiple in a storage room.
Mm-hmm.
That's waste.
Right.
That's waste.
Okay. Stealing, of course, would be fraud and high numbers and everything else. But that's what I'm talking about. If you really want to put a stop to this, those are the type of things you implement, and the citizens need to demand it.
Right.
Okay. As far as if it's a public place like the schools or your government, term limits.
Mm-hmm.
What about term limits? Why not? That would be the first thing I would say, because these guys get in there and some of them have good intentions. But like most lobbyists, when they come in, they got these big bills and they want to do all these things. You sign all these papers. Next thing you know, you sign something you shouldn't have.
Correct.
Now, as a lobbyist, I call you up or whomever. I call you up and say, hey, we got you.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's corruption. And that's what I said. You have to control it. And it's always going to be there. Every society's had it, but you have to control it. But most societies that have failed have never been able to control it. And then like I was talking about the welfare in the military bases that are closing, or the GM plants that are going down, or any plant that has closed, that if you're going to have a program like the welfare program, which was all in good intentions to get people off, help them out, build, learn, and get them back out to society. Why not use these places instead of closing them down and turning them into something that's useless?
Mm-hmm.
Why, because and as a military member, you are on base. If you're single, you stay in a nice little place, apartment, whatever. And then housing, you have married people. You have schools, banks, movie theaters, workplaces, vocational buildings, training. You just have to follow a few simple rules, and it's good enough for our troops to make $12,000 a year.
Right.
It should be good enough for anybody else who's getting paid by the government under government systems, because we created this monster that we write a check and say good luck.
Right.
And then we try to hide the numbers, because like I said, the real unemployment number should be around 31%.
If you count everybody.
If you count people on welfare, because they didn't have it back in the day when the Great Depression. So my whole thing is, why not use what we already own and tell people, look, you have rules. This is what you have to do. Your children are going to go to school. You're going to go to vocational school and learn how to do these things, so we can invest and get a return of our investment in these places, like the military installation or the closed plants that we own through GM.
Well, and a lot of these big companies like General Motors and some others that are taking the lead of the U.S. government and is honestly like an open checkbook, almost as if they lost the value in money. It's so easy to spend it when you can raise the debt ceiling and just keep printing money, and
it's not yours.
It's just so easy.
This is what their attitude is.
Right. And General Motors is actually following the lead of the government perfectly, because they're headed potentially into bankruptcy just like the country is. And it's because of all the stuff you're talking about, which ultimately makes us weaker, makes us even more dependent and less able to negotiate anything relative to oil prices. What are we going to do anyway when OPEC controls it? And all of this little stuff, I've never seen, and so nobody can ever explain to me how a commodity, and I know the commodities are the ones that the fluctuation prices can be on public opinion, rumor, makes the price go up and down. But if the gas that's in the ground has been bought and paid for, just like a product I buy in my store, why is the price not reflective of the new purchase? Why do you change the price of the stuff you already paid for in the ground?
Well, the thing again is, like I said before, everything comes back to corruption. You have it. It's a fact. Every business, every government, you have it. I can't help you. It's there.
It's when people take advantage of supply and demand.
But once you cannot control it and it gets out of, like I said before, I keep saying it, that's the main problem. Okay? And once it gets out of control, you're done. That's all there is to it. But my other point is with the welfare program, and again, somebody said it was inhumane and all that. But GM, why couldn't GM put money into these programs so that these people do come out with a career, a trade, keep manufacturing here by reopening these plants and using these military installations so that people do have a clean, healthy living life, and you're utilizing all the resources that we already own.
Because I got to protect that big union, brother. That's the political engine that drives all this bull crap.
I'm going to go back to corruption, but I'm just saying that's where we're at. Those are the things that are out there for us to use. That's efficient. Return of investment, you're getting it. Right now we're cutting the check. You're done. Good luck. I'm not filling the void of manufacturing. I'm not filling those things that we harp on. That what happened to it? Why are we shipping it out?
You can put a lot of people to work on a pipeline too.
Yeah, a lot. And that's what I'm talking about, drilling and fracking.
Drill, baby, drill.
Owning a small business is almost a cuss word in this country now. I mean, when you got a 10-year-old girl selling lemonade on the street corner and the government comes in and shuts her down. Do you all see that on the news?
I saw that story, yeah.
We have lost control.
We've lost perspective of what the country was founded upon and relative to freedoms. And you're right, Third Wheel. It's the greed.
It always comes back to that.
It's the lack of control and the value of the dollar in perception. It's bad, but I'm talking about the perception of money. A lot of young people don't even grasp the value of a dollar, really. They're going out and buying $500 cell phones and all this other stuff.
These kids will not be able to do what we were able to do.
Right.
Period. The dollar is devalued. We don't even know what's coming around the corner next. But like I said, if you want solutions, I mean, I'm just saying, those are some solutions that I thought of for a long, long time because I've dealt with good, bad, rich, poor, all throughout my life.
Right.
And these are some things I just truly believe that we could use that are in our own backyard, that are they're already owned. The return of investment could be for General Motors and other corporations that has issues like that where the government had to do bailouts.
Right.
All right, and that's one of the things. It goes back to common sense. It goes back to what I like to call the scale of idiocracy. And Jimmy B, you know I use this with my kids. I'd be sitting out there in the driveway, and if you think of a law scale, it teeters both ways. One side you have book smarts, which is your education. The other side you have common sense. And I used to even use this when I was in the police department talking to kids and why it's so important. If my kids were running around out there and they fall down and hurt their knee, or they do something, punch somebody in the face, one of their friends or something, the scale tilts.
Right.
Apparently you were not using enough common sense. You need that balance.
Well, sure.
We've lost that balance.
We lost all balance.
That's why I call it the scales of idiocracy, so the kids can look at me. I don't have to yell at them. They just look at me, and I take my hands and I tilt it.
I fall down all the time.
And they're like, Dad's calling me an idiot.
Right.
Well, you are, because you have forgot to keep the scale. Just like smart people. Some of the smartest people have the papers to prove it, right?
That's right.
Because they're on one scale, and they're the ones that are teaching our kids and as professors, etc.
Coltrane, you don't have any papers, do you?
I don't have anything.
Kenny never had any. Kenny's scale, I tell you right now, is one way.
I'm not even sure where I was born. And a barn, I'm sure.
So that's the scale of idiocracy. That's what I'm talking about.
Kenny's scale's tainted with white powder.
I want to get into a shopping cart and be pushed down a hill.
Exactly. See my point? You don't need papers for that.
Well, if you ride a bike, you don't need gasoline either.
Well, you know what? But that's where we're coming to. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if it gets any higher, I don't know how I'm going to put gas in my vehicles to go because I don't have the luxury right now of buying one of these ultra hybrid cars. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to.
You can get a green job and ride a green other source of transportation.
I'm an American. I like big cars and poor fuel economy, and if that makes me whatever it makes me, I'm proud to be it, because that's what I am.
You're a Kentuckian American.
I want a big truck that gets 8 miles a gallon. That's just the way it is. Dipsticks and Deals, Real Talk 1160.
Weather when you need it. Your Real Talk 1160 forecast every 15 minutes.
Here's the forecast for Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati, and the Tri-State. As you wrap up the weekend, it'll be mostly sunny with a high of 79 this afternoon with a light east wind. It'll be partly cloudy tonight, a low 56. Again, we'll have a light east wind. Monday, there's a slight chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms. We'll start the week with a partly sunny day, or high 76. We'll have showers, possibly a thunderstorm Tuesday with a high of 65. From the Real Talk 1160 Weatherbug Forecast Center, this is Rod Tanner.
If you drive a car, you must have this number, 1-800-828-0159. The number to STI Towing, the Tri-State's towing pros. STI handles most motor clubs, including AAA, and they offer prompt, courteous, and professional service all day and all night. Mention Real Talk 1160 and the first 5 miles are free. That's 1-800-828-0159. 1-800-828-0159 for STI Towing.
Real Talk 1160 is on Facebook. It's okay to love us. Too bad Facebook only has a like button. Let us know what you think. Comment, unload, let loose, or praise away. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Real Talk 1160.
Right now at AE Door and Window, choose from select Premium Series Clopay garage doors and receive $200 off a double garage door or $100 off of a single garage door. And for a limited time, you can take 15% off select entry doors, storm doors, and windows. Plus, ask us how you can win a free Weber grill from me, Bill Weber. Find out more at aedorsales.com.
We sell the best and service the rest. AE.
No purchase necessary to win.
Attention business owners and individuals who owe the IRS. Do you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes? You need aggressive representation. Call Certified Tax now at 800-440-5360 and speak to one of our tax attorneys, enrolled agents, or tax professionals who specialize in tax liens, back taxes, tax debt, wage garnishment, and collections. We won't waste a minute helping you with your tax problems. We'll be on the phone with the IRS within 30 minutes of you becoming a client. We've settled millions of dollars of tax issues for a fraction of the cost. Find the peace of mind knowing the IRS will not be knocking on your door. Protect your home, business, and family today. We know the tax laws and we act fast. Call today for your free, no-obligation consultation. 800-440-5360. Remember, we'll be on the phone with the IRS within 30 minutes of you becoming a client. That's guaranteed. Call Certified Tax at 800-440-5360. That's 800-440-5360. Again, 800-440-5360.
Between the economy and the price of gas, how about a way to save some money for a change? Lower your insurance premium with help from Huseman Schmidt Insurance. They understand more than most because they've been local, family-owned, and part of your community since 1976. Huseman Schmidt's expertise and common sense approach have helped their clients protect their assets and save money. For all your business and personal insurance needs, call Huseman Schmidt at 513-521-8590 and ask for Rob or AJ, or visit HusemanSchmidt.com. Huseman Schmidt cares.
This is Don Metalka. I just lost my 34-year-old wife to ovarian cancer. All women need to know the signs and symptoms. Early treatment can save your life. Learn more now than pass it on. Go to Cincy with a Y, ovariancancer.org. CincyOvarianCancer.org.
Hi, I'm Jeff Pecora, one of the voices of the Cincinnati Reds, and I'm here with Colleen Hawes, owner of the premier casual upscale restaurant, Grandview Tavern and Grill.
Thank you, Jeff. It's a place where business meets casual in a social setting. Come enjoy our New York strips, bacon-wrapped shrimp and grits, or specials like pan-seared sea bass, and don't skip dessert. I promise they are worth the calories.
My wife can't get enough of your handmade specialty pizzas, and I love train beers.
Nothing's better than watching our Reds win on one of our 16 flat screen TVs.
I found the Grandview Tavern and Grill to be the best place for lunch meetings with incredible food and impeccable service.
I'm so excited to be out on the patio again. We pack them in out there. Whether you're here to network for business, have an intimate dinner for two, or dance the night away to live music under the stars, this place is for everyone.
Yeah, since coming to the Grandview Tavern, we feel more comfortable than any of the other restaurants. And by the way, Colleen, your outdoor patio rocks.
Jeff, you're too much. Just Google Grandview Tavern and Grill for the latest happenings and list of music.
Real people, real situations. Real Talk 1160.
Dipsticks and Deals, Real Talk 1160, the show that talks about anything and everything automotive, including today's subject matter, a little politically undertoned, but fitting for this time of the year where we're coming up on an election. Fuel prices are up and up and up.
The ripple effect's huge.
The ripple effect, and talking about some things that contribute to not only the fuel prices, but that affect the car manufacturers in general, and things that they can do to utilize, like you said, abandoned plants, and other things. I mean, there's the green energy effort, and the things that have proven not to work.
Well,
I mean, they're spending all this stimulus money on these companies that have gone belly up. We don't need, unless you're going to listen to the tree hugger type that's going to say, well, it's not about being oil independent only. It's about future generations and health and all that and global warming. The fact is, the position we're in, we need to do something quick. And we can be energy independent. We can dramatically reduce fuel prices overnight, announcing the installation of a fuel pipeline. We get a boost to our economy overall. The manufacturing, the jobs, all the stuff that would go into putting a pipeline in, just the drilling, just being able to drill in some of these places that they have limited. It seems easy, but you're right. It's that political game that's being played, and then the greed on the corporate side, and the not realizing the value of money anymore.
The greed on both sides. The greed.
And we've got we've got foreign country, we've got third world. We used to be third world countries coming up, and the demands are there, and the global car market is there. So that's fine. Let's supply them with those cars, but let's build them here. Let's build the cars here.
That's my whole issue.
Yeah, let's build them here.
Well, we should be building everything here.
Well, and it used to be that way. That's what the country was built upon, was that sort of thing. My biggest fear is in the event of a world crisis, do we have the wherewithal as a country, as divided as we seem to be among political parties these days, to do what happened during World War II? Could I think it probably would happen, but not to that scale. I'm talking about switching factories over and making all, and everybody really
pulled together.
They pulled together, but their standard of living was dropped, and your sole effort was to support, you can say the war, but to me, I say to support your country. Do we have the ability to do that as a country now?
I don't know. I mean, it comes down to, again, I think with unions and everything else, which is fine to a point, without abuse, again, without a corruption. But why not bring stuff back home? Why not have these manufacturing? I mean, that's only better for unions to get these people who are not working to working in these programs. So again, like I'm going to repeat again, if you're on government assistance or whatever to get help, that's awesome. But let's not just throw a check. Let's train, and use the resources that we can to train them. So that would grow. Rather than lying. You know what I mean? Why lie about our problems?
Well, that just makes way too much sense. That's why that won't happen.
Do you know a green job, a guy who owns, say, a Schwinn company, bicycle company, was just that, a small business owner.
Mm-hmm.
Now he is. You can hash mark it one more time on that guy's rib that you were talking about as Dipstick.
Yeah.
This guy's got 2 jobs now. He's categorized as a small business owner, but he's a green job owner, a green job producer.
Well, it's a
bicycle.
Yeah.
Really, dude?
Yeah.
It's the grand political machine, and you mentioned the lobbyists and big unions protecting votes. I mean, when GM started closing dealerships and going through the bankruptcy, they screwed 20,000 workers at Delphi, non-union workers. The union workers were protected. The non-union workers lost up to 70% of their retirement. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of stuff that happens that is where the correction needs to be made to begin with, because you can't affect people's lives for the benefit, on the corporate level. In other words, these big corporations that spend retirement funds and waste money and then they don't have the money to pay out, and you're affecting people's lives. These are American lives.
We need some income producing people,
and we're tired of it. We're tired of it. And, in the car industry, that is a huge part of the economy's engine. needs to get straightened out and back on the right track because we're getting gobbled up. I'm telling you, and I predicted this back when Hyundai first got here and was building crap.
It's the old model.
Dude, they used the old business model
Datsun,
that never
Toyota.
fails, followed Toyota,
Honda,
Datsun, Honda, especially Honda. That's what they were modeled after. And look how wildly successful Hyundai is, overtaking GM in a lot of segments.
Now they're coming out with the luxury cars.
You can't allow that stuff to happen. You just can't allow it to happen. Listen, we're getting close to the end of the show, and we do have a couple of things we need to touch on, too, real quick, such as this week's Tech Tip of the Week, I should say. Lisa Howarth, ASE technician from Complete Auto Care in Nashville, Tennessee. Before okaying a large maintenance interval recommended by your repair shop, she says check online for your manufacturer's major service interval under severe driving conditions and make sure everything they tell you it needs is due. And that's a good point. You do want to look at severe because that is the climate and driving conditions that we're in the tri-state. But there are some things relative to your vehicle that may not be due, such as your transmission service. So if you had it done at 50,000 and you got them telling you you need a 60,000-mile service, which includes that, you may or may not need it. Depends on what you've had done. So real good tip there. We want to revisit our question of the week for Facebook to win $25 in gas, $25 in cash, or you can crash the show and be with us here in studio live. We might have to up the $25, man. That's not buying a lot of gas.
It will buy you, what, four?
A little over four.
That's awesome.
So we're not giving them, but we might have to raise that to $50. But go ahead and tell them what the question is for the week so they can win that.
The question is the HMMWV, more commonly known as the Humvee. What does HMMWV stand for?
And I'm surprised, being military, that you did not know that, but that's okay. You drove them. You just didn't know what you were driving. I get it. In the desert, in the sand. Coltrane, what do you got?
Absolutely nothing but peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter. See, we should let him do tailgating or pit stop
recipes.
recipes.
I got some recipes that just make your mouth water.
I heard his stomach not long ago.
I know.
I don't know if I want to eat anything
You guys won't let me cook it in the microwave anymore since I caught it on fire that one time.
Well, and then we can't do that, dude. We can't have fires here.
What's the song of the week?
Song of the week. You know what? We had to change this at the last minute, so you have no idea what it is, do you?
I don't, because our friend Prince called and said we're not allowed to use his music.
Prince doesn't exist anymore.
Formerly known as...
Yeah, he's the artist formerly known as
Key
Prince.
of Life, or whatever his symbol is.
If he changes his name again, what would he be? The artist formerly known as Prince?
Chad Ochocinco.
Well, he's not. Yeah, he's not Ochocinco anymore either.
I think he was with Kenny last week.
Go Bengals.
Bengals?
Bengals.
The Bengal, the Bengal cheerleaders were downstairs this morning when we came in.
You say that, but that's not confirmed.
That's who they were. They all had duffel bags that had Bengals on them. They were all pretty girls getting in a vehicle to go to the stadium, I guess. I don't know. They look like Bengal cheerleaders. Don't you think?
I don't know.
Did you ever come up before we go with the original name for the Duster?
Beaver.
They were actually going to call it the Dodge
Beaver.
or the Plymouth Beaver. Mm-hmm. Beaver, what are people thinking?
One person was thinking slang naughty.
Well, they name a lot of cars after animals and fish.
Nice Beaver.
I've always noticed Beaver has been always associated with speed.
Beaver, yeah, they are quick. Beavers build dams.
Yeah, that's what's going on there. They build dams.
So it's going to dam up a road? That's dumb. That guy was
Well, that's
naughty.
why they changed the name.
Okay, we're done. 1963, Shut Down by the Beach Boys. This song peaked at number 23 on the charts. It's a song about a drag race between a 62 Dart and a 63 Chevrolet Corvette. Thanks for joining us on Dipsticks and Deals. We'll see you next week. Real Talk 1160.
Starting to spin, but the 413's really digging in. Now gotta be cool now. Power shift, here we go.